Hello, welcome to the summer edition of Let's Talk Sullivan. My name is Michael Brooks. I'm the Vice Chairman of the Sullivan County Legislature. And with me, as always, is our Chairman, Robert Doherty. Hello, Robert.
Hey, Michael.
Now, despite the fact that it's been a few months since our last broadcast, we have been working on many items in the legislature, and we're going to talk about them today. Rob will discuss in detail some of the things we've been working on in the last couple months. So with that, Rob, let's start with the 2022 budget considerations and the process. Please explain.
Oh, thank you, Mike. Hi, I'm Robert Doherty, the Chairman of the Sullivan County Legislature. The first topic that we're going to discuss today, Michael, is the 2022 budget. So the budget process starts long before, November when it gets approved. It starts, actually in June. You send out requests from each department head for their budget. And once they fill out, the paperwork for that, then it goes to Josh, who has won 6 awards for doing budgets. He is fantastic at this, national awards. And then him and the people in the budget office get together and they do it. And Chairman Conklin, and they all get together and they work on it, and then Mr. Conklin starts having meetings, like we did last year. And then through the meetings, you start dissecting each department's budget so that we can hone down, what exactly is going to be in the budget.
Yeah. And those budget meetings, it's safe to assume will probably start in, as far as the legislature goes, in George with his committee in October?
I would think in early October. I don't believe that we're going to get the budget this year till late November. Because of how upside down things have been, and a lot of things that we need guidance from the state from. So it's going to be a little different than it has been in the past, but he will be holding budgetary meetings again this year as we did last year, and we feel that that's an integral part of really understanding the budget, and that's how you get down to a very refined budget that we all can vote on and have good conscience of knowing what's in there.
Thank you, Rob. Next thing, Rob.
You're welcome, Mike.
Next thing, Rob, could you give us some updates on the Care Center?
Sure. So we're filming today. It's August 26th. What we believe is the final draft has been drafted of the contract between the LDC and Infinite Care, and we believe that the signing of the contract is imminent. I mean, like literally, it could have happened today. It could happen tomorrow morning. We are confident by September 1st that it will be signed, and we will be we'll have a new operator, and we will be able to move the care center forward, financially speaking and healthcare wise.
Thank you for that update, Rob. And
you're welcome, Mike.
And also, just want to make mention of the fact that through your efforts, we were able to get the daily newspapers up to the folks at the Care Center. So thank you for that, Rob.
It was my pleasure.
And we look forward to the new operator and the improvements that will follow very soon. So next up is some exciting news. Rail Trail. So Rob, explain the updates.
Okay, so this is very exciting news. So when I was at a press event with Congressman Delgado, we got to talking. We were at a press event for his bipartisanship with the congressman from the other side of the river, from Pennsylvania, and how they were talking about the Delaware watershed and how they can improve the cleanliness of that water, which is a huge topic for me. And so, in the off time, Congressman Delgado and I got to talking, and we became pretty friendly, oddly enough, and we started talking about trails, and I pitched him the concept of a grant to get the $1.1 million grant to get the bridge over the Neversink River in Fallsburg completed. And he absolutely agreed with the concept, and he came through for us, very much so. And we had another press event for that, and it was very nice. I mean, Supervisor Vagliante was there, Aileen Gunther was there, Senator Martucci was there, Sandra Gary was there. It was a fantastic event. It was very, you know, it was a good day for government. I mean, that's how government's supposed to work. I mean, there's a lot of things that we don't agree with each other, but on that topic, we all agreed on it, and we all worked very hard to get that done. And Congressman Delgado came through for us, and I think that's going to be a game changer, you know, for the trail system in Sullivan County. The trail system, I know some people poo-hoo the benefits of a trail system, but if you look at Ulster County, their largest problem with their trail system is they don't have enough parking. We should be so lucky to have that problem in Sullivan County.
Thanks for that, Rob. Next up is the COVID update. Rob?
You know, the CDC is recommending a third shot or a second shot of your Johnson & Johnson user for a booster shot. We have to wait for guidance from New York State Health Department. That's our governing agency, and so as soon as they say it's a go, we're going to do clinics just like we did last time to make sure everyone can, you know, have an opportunity to get the booster shot, and we encourage people to get the booster shot. I myself will be getting the booster shot. I think that's your own personal choice, but I think it's very important to, you know, get vaccinated. The stats are absolutely, you know, mind-blowing to know that of all the people who are getting COVID now, only 1% of the people that are getting COVID now have been vaccinated. You know, 99% of the people who are now getting COVID are unvaccinated. It is very important for your health, and I'm only talking about your health, because that's important. It's your body, it's your choice. I understand that, but you need to get vaccinated. It could save your life.
Thanks, Rob. It's, you know, Rob and myself have chosen to get vaccinated. It's very important to note that the Pfizer vaccine this past week was given FDA approval. Hopefully the other vaccines will soon follow. I think that's a big deal and an important as we progress through the pandemic and our vaccines. It's absolutely your choice. We respect that.
But the facts are clear.
The facts are clear.
The facts are clear. I mean, of all the people that are now getting COVID, only 1% of them are vaccinated people. I mean, that's just a fact.
You know, unfortunately, through all of this, some of the messaging has been mixed from federal and state agencies. And I think that's part of the confusion and has been part of the, I don't know if resistance of some to get vaccinated. But take it upon yourself to learn about the vaccine, learn the stats. What Rob mentioned earlier is extremely true. If you get vaccinated, you're in a much better position to fight COVID and any variant that may come in the future. So please do your homework. It is your choice, but we absolutely hope that the choice is to get vaccinated. Our next topic, Rob, is the early sunset of the 4% energy tax. Please elaborate and clarify.
When was the last time a politician told you that a tax was going to go away? And not only did it go away, it went away 16 months early. Now, I want you to think about that, because I don't think that's ever happened in this county before. We told you we had to put the tax on, and we're sorry about that, but it was very uncertain times when we put the tax on. As we were able to go through the budgetary process last year, and we were able to hone it down to a certain level, money from the American Rescue Plan Act did help us, even though we had a $10 million loss. We were able to put ourselves in a good enough financial position that we were able to end the tax early. And I think that's very important to understand, that this legislature will tell you the truth all the time. Sometimes you may not want to hear what we have to say, but we're going to be honest with you every time. And this is just another example of us being honest with you. And we ended it as soon as we could. And I hope that, going forward, if we have to put it back on again, if there's another situation with the Delta variant or wherever the situation may be, that you understand that we're not trying to hurt anyone. We just want to spread the tax over the largest possible portion of people, because we don't feel that should just be on landowners.
And want to thank all the folks of Sullivan County for understanding. All of us have talked to many people, our constituency, when this was first announced, and it was by design. It's like, look, we don't like taxes, but to put a sunset on it, and we meant it was just to help us get over the hump. So thank you, folks, for helping us get over that hump. There's still work to do, but it certainly helped the county's position. Next up, Rob, is the American Rescue Plan Act. Please talk about the funds and what we're looking to do as a county with those funds.
Okay, so the American Rescue Plan Act, or otherwise known as ARPA, were funds to help, with a county's losses. So in this particular county, we lost a little bit over $10 million last year due to COVID and the restriction. We are an economy based on tourism, agriculture, and health services. So with the economy being, strangled because of lack of movement, restaurants were closed, our sales tax was significantly hurt, and other parts of our economy were hurt. So we received this year $7.3 million. It's very complicated on how that money can be spent, and if you spend it not to the government's liking, because there's a lot of strings attached. As you know, anytime you get anything from the government, it's not free. Trust me, there's a lot of strings attached. So if we chose to spend it on two items. One was road paving, and one was, to say a boiler, I feel is insulting. It is a very high-tech cooling and heating system, as long as ventilation system, that the college cannot operate without. If the college does not have this, the college would have to close. I don't want to get into why they're in that position, but that is a fact. And I'd rather not bond money. Bonding is borrowing. If we bonded that money, we would have to pay over $2.5 million in addition on the money that on the interest rates on the bonded money. So we felt to save money in the future, that was the wise move to make, to avoid bonding money, which leads to more taxation, which leads to other complications in the county. Because we as a group feel that overtaxation is our largest issue in this county.
And philosophically, just being prudent, really thinking about what we have in front of us that really need attention. The college is one of them, the roads were another, that this was the best avenue to be fiscally prudent, not just now, but going forward in helping us get the county in a better financial position. And it's saying a lot coming through a pandemic. So I think that there's been challenges, but I think some of these decisions collectively are putting us in a much better position going forward. The anniversary of 9/11 is upon us. It's a couple short weeks away. And so, Rob, just some thoughts on that anniversary.
So as we're coming up on 9/11, the one thing I want to thank a lot of fire departments in this county that they do is that they keep the memory alive. Because I find too often, have you ever been to a Pearl Harbor, remembrance? Most likely not. I mean, if you're under 50 years old, you probably haven't been, because it was a horrible event in our country's history, but it gets forgotten. And I think that a lot of the fire departments, I'm going to be going to the Smallwood one and the town of Highland one. I think that all too often it gets forgotten, and time goes by, and people forget the lessons that should be learned from that horrible day. I mean, as tragic as that day was, we need to remember the lessons of that. We need to remember how we came together as a country that day, as we worked together to get back on our feet. And, a little bit of that right now wouldn't be a bad thing. And I think that, by remembering 9/11, we can work towards, putting our differences aside and working towards, a better, town, a better county, a better state, a better country.
Thank you, Rob. In wrapping up, just some personal thoughts about 9/11. I, like many of you, remember where I was when I heard about the news of one of the Twin Towers being struck by a plane. And, I still remember it to this day. And it had that kind of an impact. Shortly, a couple days after that event, it was very surreal for those of us that lived through it. I happened to get called down to northern New Jersey, just across the river, pretty much from where the Trade Center was located, and to help the company I was working for at the time provide communication for the company down there. I left my house in Gramesville early in the morning, probably 6 a.m. Drove down to northern Jersey. I could count on one hand the amount of cars I passed that day. Now just think about that. Anybody who goes down to the city of northern Jersey just knows how congested it is. About 5 cars. That's it. National Guards vehicles, I saw plenty of those. It was the closest I could say of getting to an apocalypse that I ever want to be towards. I didn't see damage, obviously. I couldn't see the Twin Towers from where I was. But just driving down there and seeing hardly anybody was pretty surreal. And it really left an impact on me. And for those of you who could remember, as we started actually to go back to normal, there were a lot of cars. People went out and bought flags, and they put flags in their cars. I don't know if you remember that. I just did a lot of driving back then, and it was amazing to see people driving with flags that they bought at their drugstore, their local Walmart, anywhere, and they put them on their car. We were one people. What we had in common was we were Americans. It didn't matter color, sexuality, religious preference, what political party you happened to be aligned with. None of that mattered. You had a flag on your car, and we were Americans. I've heard the argument made before, do people want to be free, or do they want to be taken care of in America? Where are we now as a people? Where have we evolved to? Well, I'll say this. Without freedom, nothing else matters. There'll always be somebody that'll want to take care of you, but their definition of taking care of you will be theirs, not yours. Freedom is paramount, and for me, that's what remembering 9/11 is all about. Okay, and before I say goodbye, I just would be remiss if I didn't thank Dan Hoost, the man behind the camera, and also Robert Doherty, our chairman. Thanks, Rob. Thank you, Dan, and bye for now.